Well, hello again, and welcome back to my Xbox collection. This is part two of my collection of games for the original Xbox. We're going to jump right on in with another game from the Legacy of Kain series. I showed off the original Soul Reaver game in my Dreamcast collection, but this is Blood Omen 2. I don't have the first Blood Omen game. This is the game that was done from the perspective of Kain and not Raziel, who's in the other one. Hopefully I'm getting that correct. And here's another Legacy of Kain game, Defiance. I haven't played either Blood Omen 2 or this one because I'm stuck on actually going through them chronologically as per release. Next game I have here is MTV Celebrity Deathmatch. This was one of those cheap pickups. I've played this game. This was a budget game when it came out. If I remember right, it was just $20 when it first released. And I played it on the PS2. It's just silly shenanigans. If you remember the Celebrity Deathmatch TV show, you get claymation versions of a bunch of famous or, infamous celebrities, A-list, B-list, you name it. And then they fight it out in the ring and kill each other in gruesome, Mortal Kombat fatality type ways. This is a game that I always think of when I see it. It makes me think of the Xbox, and that's a game called New Legends. I'm not sure if it came out for the other consoles. It doesn't say only for Xbox, but I always thought of it as an Xbox game. And when I was pulling my games together for this particular collections video, I was looking at the case and I was thinking, it's strange how this case is black and not green like all the rest of them. I think it's some sort of a recasing of it. Reminds me of GameCube game cases, or maybe not GameCube game cases really, but like rental cases. But no matter, anyway, it's a game I've never checked out, but I've got it, and there you go. Okay, now this is another game I believe that I picked up from VT Gamer Girl 11 from her contest. This is NCAA Football 2005, even though on the back it's Top Spin. I believe this is one of those combo games that was included in a probably like a console, but all that she had in it was the NCAA football game, so it's an addition to the collection one way or another. I do believe that this was another game from her, NFL Fever 2002. This was an only on Xbox game. I believe this is sort of a arcade style game, sort of like NFL Blitz. But I've never played it. It's Peyton Manning on the cover of that one. Here's an unopened copy of NFL Head Coach. This was a cheap game anyway, and it intrigued me when I first saw it come to the stores, but I didn't get to play it. Then I found it for cheap online on eBay, and I picked it up unopened. And we have a couple Oddworld games. Oddworld Munch's Odyssey. Have not played this. And Oddworld Stranger's Wrath, I played a little bit of this just to see how it controlled, because it's a different style game than like the original Oddworld games. And it was kind of cool. Visually it looked really, really nice. And we have Peter Jackson's King Kong, the official game of the movie. I love how they had to put that little line on there. I have not played this version of it. I believe the version I've played was the 360 version. It was a really good-looking game. It's very kind of linear style game, like it just kind of leads you along on where you need to go and what you need to do. But I love the movie, so having the game couldn't hurt. Now here's another one of those games that you can put up there with BMX XXX. This is Playboy the Mansion. This game is kind of weird. Obviously it's mature rated, it's got nudity and stuff like that in it, but I figured it was just going to be, like a Sims game in the Playboy Mansion, which I guess that's pretty much what it is, but it gets out there a little bit. It's kind of loose and flowing with, I don't mean to use weird puns for it, but you would expect nudity and stuff like that, but the characters do some things in this. It just kind of shocked me when I gave it a go. I didn't play BMX Triple X, but I checked this one out, and I was like, okay, definitely not a game for the kids. Alright, next up we've got Return to Castle Wolfenstein, Tides of War. I have not played this game. I saw somebody else play it years ago, and it looked alright. Not a big Wolfenstein fan, like of the original game or anything. A new one was just released this week, which kind of makes me want to play this, but whatever. Shooter games are a dime a dozen as far as I'm concerned. That one was just another one of those. It was cheap, and I got it in the collection. Now here's an awesome one that I can't wait to try out, and the next time I beat the original, I will then probably start in on this. But this is Shenmue 2. This is the version that includes the feature-length DVD Shenmue the Movie, which is basically all the cutscenes from the first game spliced into sort of a movie presentation. But I can't wait to give this one a try because I'm a big Shenmue fan, and I'm hoping that one of these days we'll get a third game, we'll get a wrap-up of the series. And I've got games that are sticking to one another because this has got a security thing on the back that's tore off partially. This is an unopened copy of, and I'm going to have to read the side of this, SNK versus Capcom, why can't I talk? Capcom SVC Chaos. It's a fighting style game. I understand the Capcom and SNK, but wouldn't know all the franchises that are represented here. But whatever, it's just a brand new copy game, another cheap purchase that I made along the way. Alright, next up we have Spartan Total Warrior, and pretty much what you see is what you get. Another cheap purchase that I picked up that looked like it might be kind of fun. Next up we have Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell. I'm not alphabetizing it via the Tom Clancy part though. I don't know if I should or not, but anyway, it's Splinter Cell. This is a game that I tried so hard back in the day to get into. Looking at my PS2 games, I have a couple of Splinter Cell games, but I just couldn't really get into it. I don't know, there was just something about it, maybe too slow paced. It's hard to say. Just never did get into the Splinter Cell games. But here's a game that I did get into. I have this on both the PC and the Xbox. But this is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. I ended the first video talking about Jade Empire, which was another RPG by BioWare. You know, the people who made this game and a lot of other cool games. This is a very fun game. It's very complicated to me. This is kind of rolls up in what I would call, or what a lot of people have been calling, the Western RPG genre. Games like Fallout 3 and the Elder Scrolls games and games like this are kind of classed in another genre than a regular Japanese RPG is, and I think that's fair because they are done a little bit differently. A couple more Star Wars games to show off. Star Wars Obi-Wan. Haven't played this. I don't think the reviews for it were great, but I'm a sucker for Star Wars games. I pick them up all the time. And I've got Star Wars Starfighter Special Edition. I think I may have the PS2 version of this game. It's just not the Special Edition version. This included new 2-player modes, bonus missions, and enhanced graphics. It's a Xbox exclusive type thing. And we have a game here called Still Life. I would probably liken this to something like the Broken Sword games. Point-and-click style adventure, or at least exploration adventure type game. So that's why I picked that up. Move over my stack of games here. Here we have an unopened copy of Sudeki. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that one right. I did not pay $49.99 for this. I bought this on eBay for not very much. And it looks okay, maybe a little on the cheesy side. But I'm down with them cheap purchases of games, man, I'll tell you what. Now here is a original Xbox version of Superman Returns. I have played this for the 360. The 360 version was really good looking game. And I don't really have anything against the game at all, but like a lot of other superhero style games and open world games and whatnot, I just found myself wanting to fly around as Superman, and I wasn't really pursuing the missions. I just wanted to goof around and see what I could do as the Man of Steel. Alright, next up we have a game called Syberia. And once again, I liken this to like Still Life and the Broken Sword games, just sort of an exploration adventure style game. And I know where on the back of these does it really say point and click. I'm not sure if those games are point and click or if they were more the evolution from the old point and click games. Alright, last couple of games coming up here. This is Tao Feng, Fist of the Lotus. This is a fighting game, so it kind of goes into a classification for me of whatever. But it was done by one of the co-creators of Mortal Kombat, and I'm trying to see if it says which one on here. I don't recall off the top of my head, darn it. But it was when the two guys, Ed Boon and John Tobias, is that their names? I know Boon and Tobias is because of Noob Saibot, but they kind of parted ways back in the 2000s, and one continued to work on Mortal Kombat games, the other went off to do his own stuff, and the one who split, this was one of the games that he did. Alright, and we got Tenchu, Return from Darkness. I'm a big fan of the Tenchu series. Very, very, very tempted to put the Tenchu games on my favorite games list, but I ended up not doing so. Maybe once I play more of the games that came after the 2 on the PS1, I might make a better decision as to whether or not it should be included. Anyway, this is my last game, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2X. I wanted to say 2Hawk for some reason. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2X, this is sort of the expanded Xbox version of 2. It says skate 5 new levels for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2X and all the levels from Pro Skater 1 and 2. So that's cool. It's everything from Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, and then 5 new levels that were included for this version of the game. I love Tony Hawk games, especially those first like 6 or so games. The Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 through 4, and then the 2, I believe they were the Underground games. After that, it started to get a little weird and overkill, oversaturation of this series. So that's everything. I don't have anything else special to show because I don't have controllers for the Xbox without having one. I don't have the console. I don't have a cheat code device. I'm not even 100% sure if there was one. But if there was, you can rest assured I will pick one up someday. I don't even have a memory card or anything like that from the original Xbox. I rely on my 360 to be able to power these, and I know there's probably quite a few of them here that aren't compatible with the 360. But that wraps that up. I have PS1, 2, and 3, and the Xbox 360, and possibly my PC games to cover in future collection videos, and then that'll wrap up what I own as far as console games and physical PC releases are concerned. The PS3, 360, PS1, and PS2 will have to be divvied up into individual episodes because I own a lot of games for them. I have over 300 games for the PS2, so that would be a long video if I sat down and did that one all by itself. But I'm into this one. This is kind of like my new favorite series to do right now is my collection videos. So I'm going to churn them out over the next several days, maybe no more than a week or so, and hopefully I'll have it all done. So if you're enjoying them, be sure to check out the future ones, and I thank you very much for watching my stuff, and I'll see you next time.